dear students of Class 8. You read in my last class how the French Revolution abolished monarchy and established the Directory in its place. You know, the time when the French Revolution established the Directory, the European monarchies were alarmed to declare war against France. The French army at that time depended on the military genius of Napoleon Bonaparte to defend itself. Napoleon Bonaparte was the best and able generals of the French army during the French Revolution. In 1799, Napoleon overthrew the Directory and established the first consulate and became its first consul in a body of 3 consuls. And afterwards, Napoleon decided to teach some European countries a good lesson. How? The time when he was thinking it, he undertook military operations against various European organizations and alliances that were formed to check the growing power of France. Finally, in 1804, Napoleon crowned himself Emperor of France and led the first French Empire. Napoleon was able to bring most of the important parts of Europe under his rule, but he lost his conquered lands by the year 1915 because his reign was very brief, and at last he was sent to St. Helena by Britain and other allies. But it is not a part of discussion of your lesson. Later on you will come to know about it. Napoleon Bonaparte decided to organize a group of people who were very much faithful to him. The time when he was thinking it so, he also decided to proceed to seize all political powers from the Directory and declared himself the head of the country. He introduced new laws. Which was known as the Napoleonic Code. Now, why was that introduction? Napoleon in the beginning assured the people of France that the frequent conflicts between the National Assembly, 2 selected National Assemblies and 5 members Directory would never bring prosperity in the country. But the bourgeoisie, the nobles, who had been dreaming to be the most powerful group of people in France, Napoleon decided to crush their power. How? By introducing the Napoleonic Code. What was the work of the Napoleonic Code? The work of the Napoleonic Code was to frame new laws for the people of France, for the people of Europe. So the laws which had been framing from from the body of the Napoleonic Code, these all were applicable for not only France, these all were applicable to other countries of Europe. Napoleon wanted to give a message to the people of the world that he would act not only as the king of France but as the king of Europe. That's why he introduced the Napoleonic Code, made it popular. It was done for the protection of private property. It was done for the promotion of equality before the law, and at the same time it was done to protect the interest of the customers who were deceived by the dishonest traders in the market. That's why Napoleon introduced the system of weights and measures. Napoleon, who started his career as an ordinary military man, rose to the position of first consul, the highest position in the country. And afterwards, Napoleon made tremendous efforts for the all-round development of the country. Initially, he strengthened the economic stability of the country. He gained the faith of the people, common people. He imposed many restrictions for those people who were basically privileged people, the nobles. That's why under that system of Napoleonic Code, it put an end to the privileges of the nobles. That means the bourgeoisie. He wanted to establish his control over the bourgeoisie, because the unstable political situation of France gave him power. That's why he did not want to misuse it. He wanted to utilize it for the growth of country, for its economic growth, for the growth of trade and commerce. That's why he brought a remarkable change in every sphere of life throughout France. Initially, he strengthened France, strengthened its economy, satisfied the needs and expectations of the people, common people, by crushing the power of the bourgeoisie and nobles. He concentrated to be the ruler of the whole Europe, and that's why that moment he introduced the Napoleonic Code. Now, what was the aim of the Napoleonic Code? The aim of the Napoleonic Code was to frame new laws for the people of France, not only, but for the people of the whole Europe. That's why the concept of equality before law attracted millions of people of Europe. The system of weights and measures attracted millions of people of Europe. They all were satisfied with the technique and method of Napoleon Bonaparte. But one mistake was there, one drawback was there. What was it? The technical mistake Napoleon committed, that was he underestimated the most important and powerful country of the world, England, Britain. He could not establish a healthy relationship between France and England. And it was due to the reason Napoleon's reign had become very brief. And by the end of 1815, he lost all the conquered lands once he captured from different parts of Europe, only because of the plotting and conspiracy of England. This conspiracy plotting made him a titular one. As the Emperor of France, what image he wanted to establish, he was able to do it. But thing is that his method, his foreign policy for England also had caused a great defeat in the long run. Virtually, he gained faith of the people of France, not only but the people of Europe, but technically, the policy, whatever he adopted, gave him a life unsuccessful, gave him a life unstable, and hence the conquered lands, he lost all the conquered lands of Europe by the end of 1815. This is the reason, my dear students, Napoleonic Code, which was introduced, which gave him dignity, honor, the common people who had great respect for him, only because of one technical mistake. Not to make Britain a part of France. He was forced to lose all the conquered lands of Europe. Next day, I shall discuss about Napoleon Bonaparte's other expeditions and other attempts, whatever he had made against some European powers, and what was about its result, and the aim, and the last phase of his life. What a miserable life he led that time. Next day, I shall teach you, and the teaching of this lesson will be completed. And my dear students, once again I would like to remind you that your second online test is going to be held on 18th May. That will be started from 12 noon and continued till 12:30. There will be 30 questions, short questions. You have to write answer for it. Which one is correct, which one is incorrect. That's why lesson number 3, your topic, only one topic this time I have chosen for you. You please go through it thoroughly. Short questions, line, underline, from where short questions may come. Underline it and immediately learn. Write it down in your copies and learn it immediately. Step back. that technique, that method will help you to score good marks. Thank you.